Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Australia Day. My name is Lachlan McKenzie, and together with Mayor Grady and Henry Board, it is our pleasure to be your MCs for today's ceremony. We are the school captains at Naracoorte High School.
On behalf of the Naracoorte Lucendale Council, we warmly welcome you all here. A big thank you to the service groups and community members who have provided the delicious breakfast this morning. Please put your hands together for them all.
Would the Scouts and Guides please assemble for the raising of the Australian flag? Please stand for the national anthem. The two verses of the national anthem are printed on the program.
Australians are, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts, all beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains that let us sing, advance Australia fair. Beneath the radiance of the cross, we'll toil with hearts and hands to make this Commonwealth the most renowned of all the lands. For those who've come across the seas with boundless plains to share, with courage let us all combine to advance Australia fair. In joyful strains that let us sing, advance Australia fair.
I now invite Mayor Patrick Ross to come forward for the acknowledgement of country.
Good morning. We acknowledge and respect the traditional owners of the ancestral lands. Naracoorte was a meeting place of the people of the southeast, just as we are today. The Bowendick to the south, the Mine-Tongue to the west, ranging from Kingston, the Potterwich to the north, and the Matijali on the eastern side, ranging from the Little Desert in Victoria. We acknowledge elders past and present, and we respect the deep feelings of attachment and relationship of Aboriginal peoples to country. Please be seated. Thank you for joining us in our special celebrations for Australia Day this year. Australia Day is an opportunity for all Australians to come together as a nation to reflect, okay? To reflect, respect and celebrate. We reflect on our complete and complex history, and we respect the stories of others. We celebrate our nation, its achievements, and most of all, its people. We also celebrate living in a nation where everyone's views, beliefs and contributions are valued. Understanding and being part of the continuing story of Australia is a way in which we can all belong. We have received apologies today from our federal member for Barker, Mr Tony Passon, and state member for MacKillop, Mr Nick McBride, who both passed on their best wishes for a successful event. Mr Passon forwarded this message to be read on his behalf. Thank you for your invitation to celebrate Australia Day with the community. Unfortunately, I'm unable to join you as I have accepted invitations elsewhere in the electorate today. On January 26, Australians around the nation and those living abroad reflect on what it means to be an Australian. We acknowledge and celebrate the contribution of every person to this land. We are home to the oldest continuing culture of Earth, mostly on Earth, as well as cultures of those from the four corners of the earth that have all come to and called Australia home. No matter our place of birth or our ancestral ties, we are united by our values and shared geography. Most importantly, we all share a stake in our future. We all have responsibilities to each other and the future generations of Australians to uphold these values and preserve our way of life. This truly is a nation of freedom and opportunity, even in tough times. As Australians, we strive to better ourselves while at the same time supporting others. To those who volunteer in our community, thank you. Your contribution, whether large or small, is what makes this nation great. To those who will proudly join our Aussie family today and become Australian citizens, welcome. Today, and indeed every day, I encourage you to celebrate what it means to be Australian, to work hard, to continue to contribute to community and share the sense of mateship, belonging and prosperity. Happy Australia Day. Yours sincerely, Tony Passon, Member for Barker. I am now delighted to introduce our guest speaker, and I think it appropriate to call James a friend. James Darling, AM. James is a farmer, artist, conservationist. He has lived at Duck Island, midway between Keith and the Coorong, for 48 years. He is credited with pioneering saltland agriculture in the 1980s and 90s, and continues to manage extensive areas of high conservation native vegetation. He runs a herd of 4,000 EU accredited black Duck Island composite cattle. James is also a writer, social activist and philanthropist. Together with his partner Leslie Forward, he is a conceptual artist making social, political and environmental statements across Australia and around the world. Their medium is large and ephemeral art installations built with tons and tons of Duck Island mallee roots. Their last overseas work, Living Rocks, a fragment of the universe, was seen by 75,000 people at the 2019 Venice Biennale and was the centrepiece of and the inspiration for The Beauty of Early Life, an exhibition at the ZKM in Karlsruhe, Germany in 2021. James was appointed a member of the Order of Australia in the Queen's Birthday 2007 honours for service to conservation and the environment, particularly through the development of sustainable land management practices, to the arts and to the community of Keith. Would you please welcome James Darling.
Thank you very much. Mayor Patrick Ross, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys. I would like to begin by warmly welcoming you to an Australia Day, a day I consider that every single Australian, without exception, can be free to celebrate. What we can all celebrate together is the recognition of national identity. On the 26th of January 1949, that is the day that the reality of an Australian citizen was born. Before that day, there was no such thing as an Australian passport or an Australian citizen. Sorry. Before that day, those who were born in Australia, Indigenous Australians included, were deemed British subjects under the governance and laws approved by the British monarchy. The Australian Constitution had nothing to say about Australian citizenship. Australia fought 2 world wars as British subjects. By the end of the Second World War, it had become obvious that the status of British subjects was untenable. Commonwealth nations began to assert their own identities and citizenship. First Canada, then New Zealand, Australia, and South Africa. The Pacific War made the Chifley government understand the importance of immigration. Populate or perish was a common rallying cry. Arthur Calwell, a young Victorian politician, became the first federal minister for immigration. On January the 26th, 1949, the Nationality and Citizenship Act came into law and the Australian citizen came into existence. That act gave citizenship by birth, by descent, and set out a system to regulate the granting of Australian citizenship. Citizenship was automatic for the First Nations of Australia, those who had lived in this land for up to 2,000 generations. They, along with the new arrivals, became governed by Australian law for the first time. Some politicians thought that the Act did not go far enough in explaining the rights and privileges of Australian citizenship. The Liberal coalition were outraged. They deplored the Act, describing it as a plot to destroy the empire. It will symbolise, said Minister Calwell, not only our pride in Australia and our willingness to offer a share in our future to the new Australians we are seeking in such vast numbers. They can aspire to the honour of Australian citizenship. This Act has been changed more than 30 times, but remains the basis of how a person becomes an Australian citizen. 50 years ago, its name was changed, and it is now simply the Citizenship Act 1973. The motivation to continue to develop a distinctive national identity has not changed. These days, our nation welcomes immigrants from the four corners of the globe. We like to think we are a land of opportunity and a fair go. And what we are, what we stand for, and how we express our place in the world is an ongoing process. Identity always is unfinished business. Aspiration and the need to do better, with modesty, with kindness, with the support of the vulnerable, are in our DNA of who we mean to be. We pride ourselves as being the most successful multicultural nation on earth. Just think how much better we would be if we could reconcile our past with the First Nations people of this land, not leave anyone behind, and wholeheartedly acknowledge the many contributions the world's oldest culture continues to bring to the common cause of our land. Naracoorte is a meeting place. It has always been a meeting place. It was a meeting place for the four Indigenous nations of this region, and it will continue to be a meeting place long into the future. Like much of Australia, Naracoorte is opening its arms to those who have been persecuted, to those who aspire to a better life, extending that invitation to different and diverse nationalities, cultures and creeds. Australian communities have been strengthened, broadened and enlivened by that diversity. I would like to finish by commending the community award winners. All communities, regional communities especially, need people like you. Your service is an example and sets a standard for us all. Well done and congratulations. And I'd also like to highlight those from Afghanistan who will become Australian citizens today. Your lineage in Australia spans the centuries. Your forebears, the Afghan Cameleers, played a vital role in the history and development of our country. And on behalf of all who gathered here, to each of you who will become Australian citizens, we applaud your commitment and bid you welcome. And in our love of country, tough love, brittle love, resounding love, love that stands the test of time, let our passion and patriotism be informed by historical truths, by a willingness to be open to greater understandings, and by the resolute loyalties of citizenship in our evolving nation. Thank you.
Thanks, James. And please accept this small token, and everybody here will be pleased to know that it also includes a box of family favourites. Thanks, James, once again. The words that James has used today I found profound, as usual, and it's an opportunity to reflect on the significance of the day, especially that day in 1949 when we had the act that actually meant something really significant for all of us who live and wish to live and call Australia home. Now it is with great pleasure that I present this year's Naracoorte Australia Day Awards. I invite Ryan O'Shaughnessy and representatives of the Nurtured Village Hampers Upper South East Limestone Coast Group and the Naracoorte United Soccer Club to join us on the stage. The Naracoorte Young Citizen of the Year Award, Naracoorte Active Citizenship Award and the Naracoorte Community Event of the Year Award are proudly presented by the Australia Day Council of South Australia and administered by the Naracoorte Lucendale Council. The award acknowledges the unsung heroes of our community who, through their contributions, make our community a better place. These individuals and organisations offer outstanding service every day and enable our community to be stronger as a result of their tireless efforts. Now it is with great pleasure that I present our first award, the Naracoorte Australia Day Young Citizen of the Year Award, to Ryan O'Shaughnessy. Ryan is being recognised for his outstanding voluntary contribution to many community groups, in particular the Naracoorte P&A Society. Ryan's nomination for this award acknowledges that he has gone above and beyond with volunteering in our community, particularly the P&A Society, but also with the Naracoorte RSL Bowls Club, the Kaibi Bolite Football Club and the Naracoorte High School. Ryan has given many hours of volunteer time to the P&A Society, not only by helping to maintain the facilities at the showgrounds, but also by playing a pivotal role in the organisation of the annual Naracoorte Show. Ryan helps setting up the showgrounds prior to the show, packing up after the show, and attends monthly meetings, and drops into the showgrounds every week to check on the grounds and monitor the irrigation and rubbish removal. He has been an active participant in the agricultural program at the Naracoorte High School, volunteering during lunchtimes, after school and during school holidays to look after livestock and assist with the maintenance of the school's agricultural facilities. He gladly shares his knowledge with other students and is always willing to lend a hand. Ryan received the Naracoorte P&A Society's 2022 Young Rural Ambassador Award and was the South East of South Australia and Border Show Society Association's Young Rural Ambassador representative for the South Australian State Finals of the competition. Ryan's nomination for today's Australia Day Young Citizen of the Year Award describes him as an outgoing lad with the world at his feet, with a can-do and helpful attitude. Congratulations, Ryan, and I invite you to take this opportunity to respond if you'd like.
I'll just say a couple. Too easy. Thank you everyone for coming today. I'd like to thank the Naracoorte P&A Society, especially Amanda Locke, for nominating me for this award. And thank you for the council for letting me receive it. Thank you.
It's now with great pleasure that I present the Naracoorte Active Citizenship Award to the Nurtured Village Hampers Upper South East Limestone Coast Group for their outstanding contribution to supporting mothers and young families. The Nurtured Village is a national charity that relies on the generosity of communities to ensure mothers and young families, particularly those navigating hardship, feel supported by their communities and are reminded that their villages are behind them. The Upper South East Limestone Coast Group, based in Naracoorte, started in April 2023 and has seen its community grow to almost 650 members. Every month, the group of members nominate a local mum to receive an incredible hamper and help them feel the love of the community. The group has delivered countless home-cooked meals, nappies, groceries, vouchers, self-care items and kind words since it began, and also holds monthly coffee dates so mums can share the highs and the lows of motherhood. Local businesses have embraced the group with one-off and ongoing donations and also allowed the group to create a convenient drop-off locations for members' donations to their monthly hampers. Congratulations to the Nurtured Village Hampers Upper South East Limestone Coast Group, and I invite you to take this opportunity to respond, if you would.
Thank you very much. I think Patrick covered a lot of what we wanted to say today, just to explain exactly what the hampers are about. As he said, there is about 650 members as part of our village, and from month to month they do an incredible amount to ensure that these hampers go ahead and support mothers of young children and their families in our community. I'd like to take a minute to thank both Molly and Chloe especially because they are the hamper coordinators and they spend an endless amount of hours every month doing pickups, coordinating deliveries, putting the hampers together and then delivering them to the recipient. There are a lot of faces in the crowd today that support this cause, and I really, really want to stress that this award is for each and every one of you that are involved. We have seen an incredible amount of community support since we started this, and it has been phenomenal. It has brought out the best in people. We've had the privilege of talking to a lot of mothers of young children over the last 18 months especially, and there's one common theme. They feel very alone in their mothering. The aim of the hampers is to try and combat some of that loneliness and bring back the community support that is so necessary for us to be able to thrive. Is there anything else you want to be able to say? Yeah. I just would like to stress that this award is for each and every person that has contributed to these hampers over the last year, and we are so, so grateful. If anybody else would like to be involved and support the cause moving forward, please contact one of us and we can put you in touch with the group that is online. It provides you with all the details that you need to be able to help in any way that you can moving forward. Thank you.
I think it's important that you actually congratulate yourselves, because it's without you coming together, being brought together by this group, that it wouldn't happen. So well done, Naracoorte. Now it's with great pleasure, again, that I present the Naracoorte Australia Day Community Event of the Year to the Naracoorte United Soccer Club for hosting the only 2023 Australia Cup round outside Adelaide. On February the 11th last year, the magic of the Australia Cup came to Naracoorte as the Naracoorte United Soccer Club hosted State League One outfit Adelaide Cobras as part of the Australian Cup qualifying rounds. A true David and Goliath encounter. And at this point I'll just ad-lib a little bit because I attended that soccer match. And let me tell you that the Cobras look spectacular in their red. And Naracoorte United in their colours. It didn't really look like it was going to be a match. But as I recall, at the end of the first half, it was 0-0. And I think the Cobras had to have a good hard look at themselves and wonder how this G-Bung Polo Club could really be having it all over the Cobras. And they came out in the second half with a bit more endeavour, but the Naracoorte United team put up a great fight, and they're to be congratulated for their efforts. I will go on. The Naracoorte United versus the Adelaide Cobras fixture was the meat in the sandwich of a huge weekend of 14 Australian Cup South Australian Round 3 games. For the local team, it was the biggest match since forming in 1968. And although it was unable to produce the cup set result, the game was a great spectacle, not only for the club, but for our community and the wider Limestone Coast region, which embraced it wholeheartedly, showcasing local volunteers and pitchside cuisine. Club volunteers put in a huge amount of work preparing the grounds and the facilities to host the Australia Cup round, and the community made the most of a rare opportunity to watch elite players in action. Congratulations again to the Naracoorte United Soccer Club, and I invite you to take this opportunity to respond. There we go. Luke, Patrick, and
just a quick thank you to Football SA helping the soccer club put on that event. It took a lot of work. Daniel done a lot of work with the guys early in the season to get the team up and running. The same people that do everything at the soccer club, John, Kimmy, Maxine and Laurie. The club doesn't run without you guys, so thank you very much.
It's now with great pleasure that I invite to the stage the following people for a very special Australia Day citizenship ceremony. We have Muhammad Midai Ali, Muhammad Hadi Ali and Muhammad Bakir Fadiye. Their country of origin is Afghanistan, and also Don Ashani Wazindari Ekanaki, who is already here. Thank you, Ashani. So if those gentlemen could please come to the stage. Today we celebrate Australia, and as James pointed out earlier, the 75th anniversary of Australian citizenship, by reflecting on our shared values of freedom, respect, equality and a fair go, which makes our country such a great place to live. On Australia Day we come together as a nation to celebrate what it is great about living in this country and what we love about being Australian. It's a day to reflect on what it means to be an Australian, whether it is by birth or by choice, what we have achieved, what we can be proud of in our great nation, our home. We celebrate the characteristics and values that make us proud to call ourselves Australian citizens. Our people, our land, our diversity, our equality, our freedom and democracy, and our sense of a fair go for all. Australian citizenship ceremonies are an important part of Australia Day celebrations, and this ceremony is one of the many being held round the country today. Today marks a special and important step in the lives of each of you, our conferees, and those sharing this occasion with you, because today you will become Australian citizens. By the end of today's ceremony, we will be welcoming 4 new citizens to our Australian family. I congratulate all conferees for the commitment you have made to being part of Australia's future. Unfortunately, the Minister for Immigration, Citizenship, Multicultural Affairs, the Honourable Andrew Giles MP, is unable to be here, but he did ask I pass on his congratulations and best wishes and ask that I read the following message to you. And he says, I thank you for deciding to become Australian citizens. Today you join a nation that is one of the world's most successful multicultural societies, with around half of all Australians either born overseas or at least one parent born overseas. In Australia, everyone can be proud of who they are, and everyone should be respected, valued, and feel a sense of belonging. We are privileged to share this beautiful country with the world's oldest continuing culture. This is a fundamental part of who we are. For more than 60,000 years, First Nations people have cared for country. Appreciating and understanding this truth is a vital part of what it means to be Australian. Australians are united by our shared commitment to democracy and the rule of law, to the freedom of speech, religion, and association. Our diversity is our greatest strength, and we prosper by embracing this. We believe in a society in which everyone is equal, regardless of their gender, faith, sexual orientation, age, ability, race, nationality, or ethnic origin. Ours is the land of the fair go, in which we respect and compassion underpins our care for each other and our willingness to reach out to those around us in times of need. By becoming an Australian citizen, you are making a commitment to these values and to contribute to the evolving Australian story. On behalf of the Australian Government, heartfelt congratulations on becoming an Australian citizen, Andrew Giles. Becoming an Australian citizen is a step that shows loyalty to Australia and the desire of a shared common future. It is an honour to confer Australian citizenship to people who appreciate and value our society so much that they wish to become one of us and make Australia their home. I warmly congratulate our citizenship conferees today for taking the final steps in their journey to become Australian citizens. I look forward to seeing the contribution that each of you will make to Australia. We now turn to the formal part of the ceremony, which is conducted in accordance with the Australian Citizenship Act 2007. As part of the legal requirements for today's citizenship ceremony, I will read the preamble from Schedule 1 of the Australian Citizenship Regulation 2016. And I quote, Australian citizenship represents full and formal membership of the community of the Commonwealth of Australia, and Australian citizenship is a common bond involving reciprocal rights and obligations, uniting all Australians while respecting their diversity. People on whom Australian citizenship is conferred enjoy these rights and undertake to accept these obligations, and they are by pledging loyalty to Australia and its people, by sharing, their democratic beliefs, by respecting their rights and liberties, and by upholding and obeying the laws of Australia. I would now ask the conferees to come forward and say their pledge, and the first to come forward will be Muhammad Midai Ali. Are you this one? Yeah. One. Okay. Okay, so after me. Repeat after me, line by line. Okay. From this time forward, under God,
From this time forward, under God,
I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people,
I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people,
whose democratic beliefs I share,
whose democratic beliefs I share,
whose rights and liberties I respect,
whose rights and liberties I respect,
and whose law I will uphold and obey.
and whose laws I uphold and obey. Thank you.
Thank you. Here we go. Look at this. Here we go. So there we are. Australian scissors. You can take that out at another time. Wonderful. And your little Aussie flag. And some flowers. Something for the garden. I'd now ask Muhammad Hadai Ali to come forward. Thank you. Which one are you doing, Muhammad? This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same. As you say, I would repeat
Yep,
it.
he's right. He's got one. Okay. Please repeat this pledge line by line after me.
Yeah.
From this time forward, under God,
From this time forward, under God,
I pledge my loyalty to Australia
I pledge my loyalty to Australia
and its people,
and its people,
whose democratic beliefs I share,
whose democratic beliefs I share,
whose rights and liberties I respect,
whose rights and liberties I respect,
and whose laws I will uphold and obey.
and whose laws I will uphold and obey.
Fantastic. There we go. And the flowers, we can take some pictures of that. Little Aussie flag. I'll now ask Mohammed Bakuya Fidadi to come forward, and I'll need a little one of those maybe. You're doing that one, Mohammed? Yes. Please repeat this pledge line by line after me.
Please,
From this time forward, under God, from
from
this time forward,
this time forward,
under God,
under God,
I pledge my loyalty
I pledge my
loyalty
loyalty
to Australia and its people,
to Australia as people,
whose democratic
systematic
democratic
democratic
beliefs I share,
beliefs I share,
whose rights
this right
and liberties
and liberties
I respect,
I speak,
and whose laws I will,
and to this your
laws
laws
I will
I will
uphold and obey,
uphold and advise
and obey.
and obey.
Thank you very much, Mohammed.
Thank you.
Here we go. That's okay. Here. We'll take some pictures later on, okay?
Thank you very much.
Something for the garden.
Thank you.
Okay. I will now ask Don Hashani Wazandari Ekanike to come forward. And doesn't she look resplendent? Shani please repeat this pledge line by line after me? From this time forward, under God, I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people,
I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people,
whose democratic beliefs I share,
whose democratic beliefs I share,
whose rights and liberties I respect,
whose rights and liberties I respect,
and whose laws I will uphold and obey.
and whose laws I will uphold and obey.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much. Yeah. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our newest Australian citizens. Could be a politician there, I think. The Australian Citizenship Affirmation Ceremony. Now that we have all witnessed Australia's newest citizens make their public pledge of commitment, I would like to invite everyone to participate in the Australian Citizenship Affirmation Ceremony. The Australian Citizenship Affirmation was introduced in 1999 and is becoming an integral part of Australia Day celebrations. The words of the affirmation are based on the pledge we have just witnessed our new citizens make. Participation is voluntary and carries absolutely no legal status. Participating in the affirmation ceremony is a means of expressing our pride in being Australian and provides an opportunity to affirm our loyalty to Australia and its people. Everyone is welcome to participate. Non-citizens are invited to join in the affirmation at the second line. So if you would like to take part, please stand now. I believe you'll find it on the back of your program. And you can repeat after me if you like. As an Australian citizen, I affirm my loyalty to Australia and its people, whose democratic beliefs I share, whose rights and liberties I respect, and whose laws I uphold and obey. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and congratulations to our new citizens once again. Henry.
Thank you to everyone who attended today's celebrations.
That concludes the formalities for our Australia Day ceremony.
Please join us once again in congratulating our Australian Day award winners and newest Australian citizens.
Thank you, Mia, Lachlan and Henry, for sharing the Master of Ceremonies role for the celebrations this morning. I believe it's your first rodeo. I don't think that's what it said here. And of course you're the student leaders, or the captains. Yep. Congratulations. And thank you for doing what you've done today, and please accept the small gift of thank you. Can I also ask all of the Australia Day Award winners to please gather for professional photographs with family and friends before heading home. We have professional photographer over here, Adrian. And thank you all for your attendance, and enjoy the rest of the day. Happy Australia Day. Thank you, James. That was exceptional. That was exceptional. Exceptional. And when you've completed it, I'd like to...